Welcome back to Skyhook Sessions, where we cross over into your connection. I'm your host, Delroy Davidson, and in today's episode, we're going to touch on a numerous of topics. We're going to have some hot, quick takes around the league. We're going to shine a spotlight on an NBA Canadian player. We're also going to talk about Malcolm Brogdon's greatness. We're also going to talk about two key players that got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. We're going to also touch on the Kawhi Leonard saga, and we're going to touch the brackets of the WNBA Playoffs currently happening right now. And of course, we're going to have the panel open for you guys, the fans, to ask me any questions or reply to anything that you feel if you agree or disagree with what I'm going to be speaking about in this episode today. First, I'm going to kick it off with a new segment that I incorporated into the show called Quick Takes Fire Notes. So in this segment, we're just going to talk about a couple of things, and I want you guys to let me know how you guys feel about it. So my first quick take is if the Dallas Mavericks are going to become a dynasty. As you guys know, they used the number one draft pick to get Cooper Flag. Right, they traded Luka for Anthony Davis earlier in the year, right? The only player that they lost was Spencer Dinwiddie, but they signed D'Angelo Russell. So Dallas wasn't talked about as much in the summertime, in the offseason, because Kyrie was injured, Anthony Davis was injured, so it was really quiet. But if this team, when this team becomes healthy, I just want you guys to listen to the starting five that I have for you guys, okay? Klay Thompson, Cooper Flag, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively. Okay? This starting lineup is stacked. You have a perfect balance of shooting, size, defenders. It's going to be crazy. Because I really feel like they could switch. I think they could switch too. They could switch. Pick and roll, switch. It'll be easy for them. But what had the Dallas Mavericks fans excited is their bench. Their bench is as deep as their starting lineup. So I'm going to tell you guys who would be coming off the bench. So we'll look a little bit at D'Angelo Russell, Max Christie, Nadia Marshall, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gatford, right? Dallas could end up even having the sixth man of the year on their team because any of those guys that I just mentioned could be in the conversation for sixth man of the year this upcoming season. So do I think Dallas, if they stay healthy, I do believe that they can be a dynasty. It doesn't matter if Kyrie's getting a year older in age or Anthony Davis getting a year older in age or Klay Thompson getting an older age. They're still ballers. And from when they have a good core of young players and veteran experience, I think they'll be fine. Let me know how you guys feel about that. My next quick hot take is the Denver Nuggets. You guys already know I'm a big fan of the Nuggets. And my quick take on it is, are they back? In my opinion, they are absolutely back. Because now we have a solid backup center in Jonas Valanciunas that's going to actually make Joker get some real rest. Right? As you guys know, Joker will be on the bench for like 3-4 minutes and he has to come back because Denver makes the game get away and make the team get back in the game. All these type of things. This season, I think you're going to see Nikola Jokic on the bench a lot more and Jonas playing just because he's a solid backup center. As I said, you have Bruce Brown and you have Cam Johnson. So look out for the Denver Nuggets. Don't be surprised if you see them back in the finals. Next one, will the Oklahoma City Thunder strike twice? Meaning, will they repeat as NBA championships? And to be honest, I don't think so. I just see what's going around in the league right now with Houston, Minnesota, all these teams making moves and doing what they're doing to attack, to get back at OKC. I don't know if they have the willpower to repeat because it's going to be a long season. So I don't think they're going to repeat as champions. They're probably going to make a good run, absolutely, to defend their title, but I don't think they're going to be NBA champions. And my final quick take is the NBA All-Star Game, according to ESPN, is going to be having a round-robin tournament where it's going to introduce 3 8-player teams. 2 of the teams will be Team USA and 1 will be the World. I actually like this because imagine the world team. You have Giannis, you have Joker, you have Luka Doncic, right? Shea Gilgeous-Alexander going up against LeBron, KD, Stephen Curry, you name the American players. It'll be nice. And I think that it'll probably bring out the competitive juice in them because we're going to see who had the best players. Is it the world or is it the United States? Let me know your thoughts on those quick takes. Now we're going to run over to the WNBA. As you guys know, currently right now, the WNBA Playoffs is happening, and we got some hot teams and names in the postseason right now. Representing for the league, as you can see, I have my women's basketball belongs in the North shirt. Excited to get our team Toronto Tempo next season. Can't wait for that. But with no further ado, let's get right into the top 8 teams that made it to the playoffs. We're going to start it off with the number 1 seed in the whole league. The Minnesota Lynx will finish the season with a 34-10 record. They made it to the finals last year and lost to the New York Liberty. That's when the New York Liberty became champions. Right now, they are led by 3-time WNBA All-Star forward, Neficia Collier. She is coming off one of her best seasons ever, averaging a smooth 22 points, being the leading scorer on the team that has won 77% of their games this season. They are looking to repeat as champions. No, my apologies. They are looking to finally win their title after going to the finals last year and losing. So we'll look out for that and see if they could get it done. And they're looking to win their first championship since 2017. The second team with the best record was the Las Vegas Aces, led by the 2003-2004 reigning MVP Asia Wilson. The scrappy center from South Carolina averages a solid 23 points to go along with 10 rebounds, basically a double-double. She's surrounded by a well-rounded Aces squad that's looking to make their trip back to the finals since repeating as champions in the 2022-2023 season. They were currently on they went into the playoffs on a 17-game winning streak. So let's see how that plays out. Number 3, we got the Atlanta Dream, led by the dynamic backcourt duo of Felicia Gray and Ryan Howard. They're chasing their first championship with the franchise's team. The 4th seed, we got the Phoenix Mercury, who did a lot of switch up in the offseason. They picked up Alyssa Thomas, Dewana Bonner, Kalia Copper. And speaking of Alyssa Thomas, she's a triple-double machine, right? And she is fit perfectly with the Phoenix Mercury, a team that hadn't tasted a championship since 2014. She's part of the 3-headed monster consisting of her, as I said, her, Kalia Copper, and Satu Sabli. So we'll look out for what the Phoenix Mercury do in the playoffs. The 5th seed, the New York Liberty, looking to repeat as NBA champions as they won it last year, leading by their all-star duo, triple duos of Jacquel Jones, Sabrina Ionescu, and Brianna Stewart. We'll see what they bring to the table. The 6th seed, the Indiana Fever, who are in the playoffs without Caitlin Clark after losing her for the season with an injury, they look to win their second championship since 2012 season when Tamika Catchings won their first and only championship in Indiana. The number 7 seed, the Seattle Storm. They're looking to win their 5th franchise WNBA championship, their first one since 2020. Madame President Nikwe Agwamake, she is balling right now. She is averaging 18 points and 7 rebounds a game, leading the Seattle Storm in scoring. And the last seed, which is the 8th number seed, the Golden State Valkyries, who was a team that an expansion team that got introduced into the league this season. And for a team that just came into the league, they made it to the playoffs with a pretty decent roster. Kayla Thurton leads the way with 14 points, 70 rebounds, and a talented cast starts to keep the offense flowing. My pick now, who I believe is going to win it all in the WNBA playoffs. Well, I was going with New York Liberty, but Brianna Stewart has an MCL sprain, so I don't know how that's going to affect her. But I say New York Liberty, but if Brianna doesn't get it done, I'm going to give it to the Minnesota Lynx. I feel like they're hungry, they're deeper, and they want to win. So those are my predictions right there for the WNBA Playoffs 2025. Let me know what you guys think about the WNBA in the comments if you are a WNBA fan. This segment It's probably going to catch a lot of you guys' attention because this is a hot topic right now in the world, and that is Mr. Kawhi Leonard. For those that don't know, he's currently in the media for the wrong reasons, and the NBA has a huge eyeball on him right now. So for those that don't know, I'm just going to go over quickly exactly why Kawhi is in the media. So there have been some investigations by the NBA into some of the under-the-table dealings between the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard. According to media reports and outlets, Kawhi took a $28 million endorsement deal from a company he was never meant to lift a finger for. So in terms, he did his thing under the table. He got paid for it, but he didn't show up to work, right? So that's a huge thing going on right now. When that came out, now other things came out. So even things that were happening in Toronto, as you guys know, when we won the championship and we were trying to make Kawhi stay here, Kawhi was demanding that we bring Paul George in, and I think it was Russell Westbrook, but he wanted Paul George in Toronto, and he wanted us to give up our whole team for Paul George. Like, no, we're not doing that. It's not that deep. First of all, we can't even trust Paul George. So we're going to give up our good players, our quality players for just Paul George. We're not doing that. So according to reports, Leonard's camp inquired about owning shares in MLSE and other Canadian teams, as well as more cash under the table. So this is a huge investigation going on right now with Kawhi Leonard. He hasn't been found guilty. They're still in the investigation. The league is looking into it. Steve Ballmer even denied the rumors, the allegations, but he did say that he felt like he was the one that got bamboozled. He's the one that got frauded out from the company.
The speculation is what it is. And why did they do that?
It's a lot of money. I mean, 28 million, 7 million a year is a lot of money for a guy that you didn't actually require to do anything.
I don't know why they did what they did, and I don't know how different it is. I really don't. And frankly, any speculation would be crazy. These were guys who committed fraud. How would I be able? Look, they conned me.
You're one of the richest men in America.
They conned me. I made an investment in these guys thinking it was on the up and up, and they conned me. At this stage, I have no ability to predict why they might have done anything they did.
This is the first time the NBA is investigating something big like this since 2000, when the Minnesota Timberwolves signed Joe Smith by promising more money if he promised to take a big pay cut. So this is a pretty big deal. So we'll see how that plays out. Kawhi Leonard, I don't know what to say to you, but all I really got to say is, brother, this is all your fault. You can't blame nobody but yourself, brother, because you had it going. But because we put you on a pedestal in Toronto because what you did for the city, you won us a championship and you were amazing on the court. You were being talked about around the league, right? And you took that and ran with it. I thought that's what you did. You ran with that, knowing that you were the two-time Finals MVP, two-time NBA championship. Valid, absolutely. I salute you for bringing my city a championship. I would never forget that, absolutely. But you had a chance to build a dynasty in the city, and you wanted to leave to go play with Playoff P in LA land. And look how that got into you. It didn't work out because now you haven't been to the finals with the Clippers, and right now you're in a scandal, and you can't even stay on the court. So kudos to you. I hope that this is not true, but if it is, I wouldn't be surprised. So if anybody wants to know anything more about the Kawhi situation, you just have to tune in like myself and wait till we hear about more things from the media. And that's my take on the Kawhi Leonard situation. This segment is a new segment also. It's basically we're shining light on NBA Canadian players. And it's only right that we started off with the reigning finals MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. As you guys know, the Oklahoma City Thunder won the championship. He was named the finals MVP. He also won the season's MVP. I know he also won the scoring title. Amongst other things, they've accomplished a lot as a team. So he's a very shifty guard with his finger on the pulse of the ball. Every move he makes, everything he does, it's like, yo, you know Shea's going to score because he's just butter. Like, he's so buttery fire. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in the playoffs, people were saying, oh, most of his points come from the free throw line, all these stuff. But guess what? It's still basketball. If his points are coming from the free throw line, it's because you all are not defending him properly. You guys keep fouling him because you guys can't handle the pressure. You know what I'm saying? So all that nonsense about, oh, he gets his shots from the free throw line, most of his points come from the free throw line, cut it out. How about you guys defend him, right, on the court, so he doesn't go to the free throw line? Make it hard for him. You guys want to give up and just tackle him because you guys are lazy. No, make him work so he doesn't get to the free throw line. So I don't want to hear this talk about, he makes his points off the free throw lines. Cut it out, because at the end of the day, he's holding the Finals MVP trophy right now, and nobody can take that from him. As I just wanted you guys to know that he's the first Canadian Finals MVP. I bet you all didn't know that one, huh? First Canadian Finals MVP. He's the second Canadian season MVP, following the footsteps of Steve Nash. I really do feel like he's going to be better this year, absolutely. But Shea has not been in a situation where he has to defend a championship. It's not easy. It is not easy repeating as champions. As you guys know, the last team to even repeat was who? The Golden State Warriors, right? Which was what? 2017, 2018, right? Since then, we've had 7 new NBA champions, because it's hard to repeat, right? So Shea is the hot topic right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the defending champions. Everybody knows that you got to go through them in the West to make it to the finals. And as I said earlier in one of my segments, I do feel like a lot of teams stepped up their game. But that's near her there. This is all about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. We're shining the spotlight on him. He is the league. I wouldn't say he's the future, because he's done past that. He's well grown. He's well grown now. And you know what, Shea? I am so happy that the Clippers traded you for Paul George, gave away all those assets, everything that they had. I'm so happy, because you know what? You would have been in a little scandal in Clipperland too, and you probably wouldn't have got your shine. So I'm happy that you're in a small market town and you did what you did. Congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and congratulations to you, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, for putting Canada on the map more. You know what I mean? So kudos to you. I'm looking forward to their first game, home opener. It's going to be very interesting, but we'll get into the NBA season in a later episode. But this is all about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Crazy, dynamic superstar that's not going nowhere in the league. Either get with it or get out. And that's all I got to say about Shea. On September 6th, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame inducted some players into the Hall of Fame that made a difference in the game of basketball. To name a few, you have Dwight Howard, who brought the Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals in 2009 with his coach Stan Van Gundy. He lost to the Lakers, Kobe Bryant. He's Superman. He got that name because of what he does in the league. He was a part of the dunk-off contest. He did a lot to the league. He gave back a lot to the league, and I'm happy that the league recognized that and inducted him into the Hall of Fame. So shout out to Dwight Howard. Maya Moore, who was a dynasty player for the Minnesota Lynx. She was a part of the 4 or 5 championships that they won in the 2010s. Shout out to Maya Moore. She left the game early. I wish she didn't, because she wanted to be an advocate for people in jail and all those things. So, she left the league early to pursue that. Shout out to her, but I wish she was still in the game of basketball, man. Maya Moore was so elite, man. You are missed, but I'm glad that you're trying to do better for the world. So shout out to you for that. Sylvia Fowles was also a part of the Minnesota dynasty. She won a couple rings there, but she was also a problem in the WNBA as well. Shout out to her. Coach Billy Donovan got into the Hall of Fame. But 2 stand out to me. Carmelo Anthony and Sue Bird. Let me just start with Sue Bird quickly, okay? Sue Bird made the Hall of Fame. She is a Seattle legend. That was the only team she played for her whole career, okay? A dime dealing maestro. Bird's priceless court vision was quite literally uncomparable, and able to find open seams, like just anywhere on the court to throw a ball, get a dime to her players and stuff. Like she was always about the place. So I'm just gonna read out some of her accolades because it's just unbelievable what she's done for the game of basketball. She's a 13-time All-Star, okay? 4-time WNBA champion, 3-time assist champion, 2006 All-Decade Team, 8-time All-WNBA Team, 2010 Community Assist Award, 3-time Sportsmanship Award, top 15 at the 15th anniversary of the W, and the top 20 at the 20th anniversary of the W, and a key member of the WNBA's top 25 anniversary team. So shout out to Sue. Big things. Melo, you already know. One of the most dynamic scorers the game has ever seen, okay? My Melo is New York Melo. That's my Melo, okay? Dominant Melo. Let's go down his accolades, all right? He's a 10-time All-Star, right? He won the scoring title in 2012-2013 season, right? He's a 6-time All-NBA team, and he made the All-Rookie team in 2003-2004 season, and he also was a part of the NBA's 75th anniversary team. He was elite. Melo? Like, I know my team, I know we're going to drop some highlights and just show you guys a Melo in New York. Melo was crazy. Oh my God. Like, Melo yellow. Like, yo, every time I talk about Melo, I laugh because I smile because his game was so elite. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you couldn't stop his scoring. And he would always, you know, every time he scored, like, he had the garden going crazy. So, well deserved. Even though he didn't win a ring, it's okay. You're in the Hall of Fame. So, shout out to Sue Bird and Carmelo Anthony and all the other inductees that got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame this year. I'm looking forward to see the next candidates for next year because we do have a lot of retired players that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Let me know how you guys feel about Sue Bird and Carmelo Anthony or any other players that got inducted into the Hall of Fame if you think they deserve it or not. Now, for my court case debate. This is something that I implemented into the show because I want to interact more with you guys. So basically, in this court case debate, we're talking about an underrated player in the league overall. And for me, I think it's Malcolm Brogdon. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, before I even tell you why, let me just go through his accolades. Let's just start there. Okay. So he was the Rookie of the Year in 2017, right? He won the Sixth Man of the Year in 2023 also, right? And he is a player that could fit on any team. I'm pretty sure all 30 teams in the league would want him, or 29, because now he just signed with the New York Knicks. Shout out to the New York Knicks for picking him up. That is a great pickup. You see, the Knicks know he's very underrated. That's why they got him, because they know he's a great player and they know what he could bring to the table. So shout out to the New York Knicks for picking up Malcolm Brogdon, right? There was a season where he had a 50, 40, 90 season. I think that was the season when the Raptors won the championship, 2018-19, but it went out the window because they got beaten by the Raptors in 6 games in the conference finals. He's a consistent threat that is humble and loyal. I want you guys to go watch a couple clips when he was playing in Milwaukee or even Washington. He kind of bounced around in the league, but he is such a veteran player. I'm pretty sure that anybody would want to play with him. He's so quiet, but yeah, he's an assassin on the court. You know what I mean? He doesn't really get his accolade because he's not a flashy player like other players, but Malcolm Brogdon is a guy that people really sleep on. And I'm glad that the New York Knicks picked him up because he deserves a championship. Yes, he was in Washington, but we all know Washington ain't saying nothing right now. But I am happy that he's on the New York Knicks. And mark my word, guys, watch and see how much playing time he's going to get in New York from Tom Thibodeau. You know, Tom Thibodeau likes to play everybody 100 minutes. So, I guarantee you, though, that Malcolm Brogdon will be a key piece this season. And don't be surprised if he starts a couple games as a starter for the New York Knicks. That is my underrated player in the league right now. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. You guys let me know if he's underrated or overrated, or if you have a next player in mind. Send it to me. Let me hear about it under this video. I would love to hear your reaction on Malcolm Brogdon. But he is my underrated player, and I hope that he wins a ring sooner than later. I'm not saying next year because, I want Denver to win. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, he deserves a ring because he put his work ethic into the game, and it showed. But he's just doing it under the radar. So we'll see about that. I had a couple other players in mind that were underrated, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like being underrated but putting in work is hard. So you can't really just say every player in the league is underrated, right? I really couldn't find the next player that could match Brogdon as it came to being underrated in the league. Once again, as I said, if you guys have any player in the league that you think is underrated and doesn't get enough love from the media or in general, I would love to hear it. This next segment is called the listener's mailbag, which is more of me spitting on some stuff, how I feel, and I want to hear you guys' reaction and response to it. So the question is, who's the most underrated Canadian NBA player? We just did underrated player overall, but now we're sticking to strictly Canadian players that are currently in the NBA. Who do we think is underrated? My pick is Bennett Mathurin, and I'm going to tell you why. But before I get into it, let's just go through his accolades quickly. So he was drafted by the Indiana Pacers in 2022. He became the first player ever from Montreal to be selected in the NBA lottery draft. So Lou Dirk and the others, no, it was Bennett Mathurin. He made the NBA All-Team, Summer League team that same year, averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal. So that's pretty good for someone that just got drafted and he made the NBA Summer League All-Team. That's dope. When the regular season came along, in his first 3 games as the Indiana Pacer, coming off the bench, his first 3 games, he scored 19 points, 26 points, and 27 points respectively from each team, for each game in his first 3 games of that season. It was a total of 72 points, my correction, which was the most by any rookie since Jerry Stackhouse in the 1995-1996 NBA season. He was the rookie of the month for December in his rookie year, Bennett I'm talking about. He was named an NBA Rising Star in 2023. And to wrap up his rookie season, he was on the NBA All-Rookie team, the first team, not second or third, the first team. In 2004, he was the MVP for the NBA Rising Stars Challenge game. So I feel like Bennett doesn't get a lot of respect in the league because he does play for a small market team in Indiana. But he's a great player. He is a solid pickup. I like him in Indiana. Maybe this year he might shine more with Tyrese being injured. I really feel like Ben is gonna step up his game. I've seen a couple of clips of him in the gym going crazy, so I do expect he's gonna do big things. I would love for him to be an all-star this year. Can he do it with the East being kind of like deady right now with injuries and stuff? Tyrese being out, Siakam being gone. Maybe Bennett could be that player to rise to not Siakam being gone. My apologies. I meant to say Mouse Turner. Sorry, folks. With Mouse Turner being gone, Tyrese Halliburton being injured, I feel like Andrew Nembhard and Benny are going to take the reins along with Siakam and do their thing. So me hoping that Indiana makes some noise even without Tyrese, and hoping that Benny becomes an all-star this year. So that is my take on who I think is the most underrated Canadian player. If you guys disagree or agree with me, I would love to hear that as well in the comments below. And for our last segment, I'm going to just fill you guys in on some hot basketball news that's going around right now that's current. So first, I'm going to start off with the Los Angeles Clippers saying that they are not building around Kawhi no more. I'm guessing this is coming out because of the whole scandal that's going on. And they're probably saying Clippers are probably saying to themselves, you know what? All these years we went so crazy for Kawhi Leonard, and we still haven't received a championship. So maybe they came to their senses, they pulled up their boxers, whatever they got, whoever's in management, they pulled up their pants, their shirt, whatever, and they're deciding to say, you know what, we need to think towards the future because clearly we can't depend on Kawhi, Mr. Injury-prone player. So that was a quick catch to my eyes when I seen that because they've been building around him since they got him from us in 2019. So that was a quick news hot take for me. The next one that's making the circuit right now is Chris Bosh and his wife. So according to sources, Chris Bosh and his wife are being sued by a former assistant who accuses them of fostering a toxic workplace and ignoring repeated sexual harassment, including an alleged sexual assault at Chris Bosh's camp. Well, damn. Chris Bosh has not been in the media for a long time. The last time he was in the media was when he had his blood clot. So this is shocking to me that he'd actually ignored. I'm not saying it's true because it's in front of the court right now, but it's kind of shocking to hear that he's making sexual allegations and all these things go past. So I'm not saying that he's guilty of it. I'm just saying that it's kind of shocking because I don't expect Chris Bosh to be in those type of conversations. And next one, Jimmy Butler reached out to the Warriors front office to ask what's the plan. Jimmy, what are you reaching out for? I don't get it. You took up some of the money so they can't do what they want to do because they took you. You should have took a pay cut. This is exactly why they haven't signed Jonathan Kuminga because Jonathan wants to get paid, but Golden State can't pay him because they pay your ass. Sorry for my language. They pay you that money, so there is no money to give the other players. So you go into Golden State to figure out what's going on with a waste of your time because you're the reason why Jonathan Kuminga is not signed right now. Take that. Let's go over to ESPN. They did a couple things these past couple of days. So the first thing they did was hire former Denver Nuggets coach Michael Malone as a full-time analyst on NBA Countdown, which is dope. He joined for a bit last year after Denver fired him, and he fit the role good. So shout out to Michael Malone, but I want to see him in the league on the sidelines as a coach. Malika Andrews has signed a multi-year extension with ESPN to continue to be their host and reporter for NBA Countdown and NBA Today. Malika's a legend. She's amazing at what she does, and I hope she makes me smile more. She's too gorgeous, man. She's too gorgeous. She's so pretty. Shout out to her hubby, man. You know what I'm trying to say? Shout out to her hubby who has her locked down because she is gorgeous and she's very talented. Malika Andrews, congratulations on your extension. It's well deserved. Can't wait to see you more on TV. Staying on ESPN, they fired. No, my apologies. They didn't fire her. Sorry, guys. See, I got too excited because I really didn't want her on the show anyway. So I meant to say they're parting ways after this year. You know, she hosted First Take with Stephen A, Molly Q. Apparently, negotiation contracts fell apart. She didn't get what she wanted, so they're parting ways. My take on that, I'm happy on it because I felt like she was really a standby in it. I know she's the host and she's a moderator, but I felt like she didn't fit the team properly. That's just my opinion. You guys can let me know in the comments how you guys feel about that. And my last one was the NBC. They're going to implement this season. They're going to have analysts at courtside by team players' benches to listen to the huddles. That's going to be very interesting because I know some players are probably not going to like that because now you're really in their business. So we're going to see how that plays out. And those are the current hot news takes that are currently happening around the league. Let me know how you guys feel about some of these things, or if you guys want to hear about something that I didn't touch on in this quick segment, I would love to hear it in the comments. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Once again, thank you guys all for tuning in. I know you guys haven't seen me in a while, and I appreciate you guys being patient with me. But guess what, folks? I'm back, and I ain't going nowhere. So once again, thank you for watching my episode. Feel free to comment under my video of anything that you like throughout this episode. And look out because I will be giving away some Raptor tickets in the future for Raptor games. So look out for that. The preseason is right around the corner, so let's warm up and get things ready for tip-off. Keep that energy high and keep your eye in the sky because Skyhook Sessions will be back soon. Signing off, it's your boy, Delroy Davidson.